Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. I would like to welcome all of you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, to my Management 301 Principles of Management. And we will be discussing today Strategic Management, Chapter 8. This is September 27, 2020, and this is Dr. Samir Hamad. And to start with, last time we talked about the planning, and we would like to continue talking about the planning before we get into the second function of management, which is organizing. Organizing, how do I organize my company, establishment, okay? This is organizing. How do I put my chart? But before that, would like to continue talking about the planning. And in the planning, we talked about the manager as decision maker, and we talked extensively about the planning last chapter. And today we will be discussing chapter 8, which is the strategic plans. Okay? Now, we did talk last time about the planning, okay? And we said that the planning is nothing more than resource allocation. And we said planning, there are short term and there is medium term and there is long term, and there is also something called, in case your original plans doesn't work, you always have to have what? Contingency plan. Okay, contingency plan or plan B. Contingency plans. And we said that planning takes place at all levels, at divisional level, at departmental level, and section, and even at your personal level. All these are plans. Also, we talked about that the plans takes place at top management, middle management, and lower management, okay? And we talked about that the plannings we should have vision and mission and goals. It's important to distinguish between these three, okay? Okay, vision is what you want to be in the future. What you want to be in future. Okay, vision. Mission is how are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? Goals are what you want to accomplish. Quantitatively and qualitatively. These are in very simple terms, okay? Planning, okay? Also, this is where we are, or this is where are you, okay, as a person. And when we talk about planning, we have short, and we have medium, and we have long term plans, and all this is to help us see the future. Okay. Furthermore, this is again where you are, and this is your timeline. This is past, and this is present, and this is future. Okay, you are going into the future, and in the future you should have vision of what you want to be in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. This is vision. 2030, it's a vision. Okay, now, and we have accordingly to go or to reach the future. We have, this is the vision, what you want to be. This is your mission, or how are you going to do it? And the goals should be expressed quantitatively and qualitatively. Okay. Therefore, these are brief introduction of what are we going to go through, and as we go, we are gonna discuss more concepts. Okay. Oops. And this is the strategic management. What is this strategic management? Strategic management is what managers do to develop an organization strategies. What do we mean by strategies? Strategies are the decision and action that determine the long-run performance of the organization. Always strategic mean long run. Okay. Business model, if a strategic design, the business model is a strategic design for how the company intends to profit from strategies, work processes, and work activities. Focus in two things: whether customer will value what the company is providing, and whether the company can make any money doing that. Therefore, we always have to concentrate on that. Okay. Why is strategic management important? Strategic management is the result in high organization performance, or therefore it is the result of higher organization performance. It requires that managers examine and adapt to business environment change, and it coordinates diverse organizational units, helping them focus on organizational goals. Sometimes other department or units, sometimes they lose focus. You always have to remind them that this is our long term strategy, and we have to stick to that. What about the Arab world? Strategic management in Arab organization. Formal strategic planning exists, but is rather limited in the Arab world. And we did discuss that also last time. Lack of confidence in the impact of formal strategic plan, unfortunately, and the trend for formal strategic planning is in the rise with the new generations. Strategic management process is a 6-step process that encompasses strategy planning, implementation, and evaluation. This is the 6 process plan: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It starts with identifying the organizational current mission, goals, and strategies. Vision, mission, goals, and strategies, okay? Then you do what we call SWOT analysis: strength, weaknesses, internal analysis, opportunities and threats is external analysis. And this is why we call it strength, weakness, opportunities, threat. This is called the SWOT analysis. Then after we do this analysis internally and externally, we formulate our strategies. What is it that we want it to be in the future? Then we implement these strategies, and after the implementation, we start evaluating these results. Okay. Therefore, this is the model for strategic management. Okay. We talk one by one, identifying the organization current mission, goals, and strategies. Okay. And this is step 1, first step, identifying the, as we said, the current mission, goals, and strategies. Mission, a statement of the purpose of an organization. Mission, the scope of its products and services. Here, in other words, missions, how are you going to do it? We put it in a very, very layman language. Components of mission statement. My customers. Customers, how are the firm's customers? What type of customers do I have? My market. Markets, where does the firm compete geographically? Is it only in Saudi Arabia? Is it outside Saudi Arabia? Is it in the Middle East? Is it international? Is it only in Eastern Province? Is it only in Khobar and Dammam? Okay. Markets, you have to study your market, or you have to know where is your market. Concern for survival, growth, and profitability. Is the firm committed to growth and financial stability or not? Then it has to have the philosophy of the organization. Philosophy, what are the firm's basic beliefs, values, and ethical priorities? Also, mission statement should have products or services. It should product and service. What are the firm's major product and service? It should have concern for public image. How responsive is the firm to social and environmental concern? Mission statement should include the technology. Is the firm technology current or it is outdated? Self-concept, what are the firm's major competitive advantage and core competencies? And it should contain or should concern for employees. Are employees a valuable asset of the firm? All this in a very simple language, mission. How are we going to do it? Very good. Step number 2, okay? Doing an external analysis, the environmental scanning of specific and general environment. Focus on identifying opportunities and threat. Step number 3 is doing an internal analysis. As much as you do analysis for the external, you do it within your organization, assessing organization, resources, capabilities, and core competencies, strength, create value for customers, and strengthen the competitive position of the firm. Weaknesses can place the firm at the competitive disadvantage. Analyzing financial and physical assets is fairly easy, but assessing intangible assets, which is employees, skills, culture, corporate reputation, and so forth, is not as easy. Therefore, you have to do internal and external analysis. Now, these two combined, step 2 and 3 combined, are called SWOT analysis, that contains the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. We take SWOT, and that's why we call it SWOT analysis. Very well known name, very famous, okay? Step number 4, formulating strategies, okay? Developing and evaluating strategies alternative. Select appropriate strategies for all levels in the organization that provide relative advantage over competitors, and match organizational strength to environmental opportunities, and then may correct weaknesses and guard against the threats. This is the formulating the strategies. Then implement strategies. Step number 5, implementation effectively fitting organizational structure and activities to the environment. The environment dictate the chosen strategy. Effective strategy implementation requires an organizational structure and match to its requirement. Last step, which is step number 6, evaluation or evaluating results. How effective have these strategies been? What adjustment, if any, are necessary? Do we need to adjust as we go? Yes, if the time change, if environment change, sometimes certain forces force you to make changes to your original plan, and there's nothing wrong with that. As we said, we have corporate type of organizational strategies. We have strategies at the corporate level, at the competitive level, and at the functional level. Corporate level, multi-business corporation. Competitive level, we put strategic unit for business 1, business 2, business 3. For example, if Al-Mani' hospitals, they are in the hospital services, but they do have travel agency that's just to serve their company, but also it's open for public to serve any other. So it needs 2 strategic business unit, one for their main core business and one for others. Assume that you have a group of 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 businesses. One in the services, one in the contracts, one in the fisheries, one in the trading, one. You have to put for each unit or business, you should put strategic business unit, okay? And then we go, this is the competitive level or different department, and then you have, different group of companies or different companies within the group, and we have the functional for instance, we have research and development, we have manufacturing, we have marketing, we have human resources, we have finance. Therefore, we have to have strategies at all these levels: corporate, competitive, and the functional level. What is corporate strategy? Corporate strategy is one that specifies what business a company is in or want to be in, and what it wants to do with those businesses. Corporate strategy, the overall direction of my companies or my group of companies, to which direction we are going. Okay. What type of growth? What type of corporate strategies? We have growth strategies, stability strategies, renewal strategies, okay? And we are going to discuss each one at a time. Growth, expansion into new products and market. Some of the common growth strategies, okay? If we have company A, these are the different type of companies we have. A, B, C, D, E. Okay? Now, going into the business of your customer called forward integration. Like, for instance, I have manufacturing process for dairy products. I am al-Mara'i. I supply the Safeways, or I supply Tamimis with milk. If I decide to go into the business of Safeway or Tamimi and I put supermarket, this is called forward integration. Now, backward integration is just the opposite. Backward integration, if you go into the business of your supplier, assume Tamimi decided to make their own factory for dairy products, then this is backward integration, okay? And horizontal integration, if you go into the business of your competitors, assume I have gas station like Naft, and there is another gas stations in Saudi Arabia, Idris or Tashilat or whatever, you know. I go into the business of my competitors or sometimes acquire them. This is called horizontal integration. These are some of the common growth strategies. Where is the green? Okay, this is growth Therefore, the growth, expansion into new products and market, stability, maintenance or maintaining the status quo. I would like to not change anything and I would like to stay wherever I am. This is status quo or stability. Renewal, examining of organization weaknesses that are leading to performance declines. I wanted to see what business I am declining. Maybe I would like to avoid that and concentrate only on the business that I am good at. Growth strategy. Okay. Seeking to increase the organizational business by expansion into new products and market. Growth strategy. We have what we call type of growth strategy, concentrate of the business you have. We have vertical integration, we have horizontal integration, and we have diversification. Okay, I explain some of that for you, and this is the more of strategic growth. Concentration, focusing on a primary line of business and increasing the number of products offered or market services. We have a vertical integration. We have, as we discussed, backward vertical integration, attempt to gain control of inputs, become a self-supplier or going into the business of your supplier. Forward vertical integration, attempt to gain control of output through control of the distribution channel or provide customer service activities or eliminating intermediaries. Factories sell directly to people, not through intermediaries. We have horizontal integration, combining operation and with another competitor in the same industry to increase competitive strength and lower competitive among industrial rivals. As we said, acquiring or combining forces with your competitors. This is called horizontal integration. Related diversification, expanding by combining with firms in different but related industry that are strategic fit. Example, assume الجميح. He got into manufacturing industry for the cars, and he just made the basic thing, the car basic, and the rest of it he tried to integrate with other within the country. Now, or assume Toyota for that reason, doing everything related to car industry. They do the engine, they do the seats, they do the tire, they do the glass, everything related to the car, they do it. Okay? Therefore, doing that, they call it related diversification. They go into the business that's related to the car industry. Unrelated diversification, growing by combining with firm in unrelated industry where higher financial returns are possible. Samsung, they do watches, they do computer, they do telephone, they do ships, vessels. Hyundai, same thing. They are in so many. In Hyundai, I remember when I was in Korea, I visited there is a big mall called Hyundai. It's for Hyundai. So they are unrelated. This is, of course, it needs a culture. It's built over time, and we see so many of that in the Far East. Okay. Stability strategy. Strategy is appropriate if managers want to maintain the status quo to deal with the uncertainties of a dynamic environment. If the environment going so fast, you would like to keep stable to study and grasp what's going on. Sometime, if the business owner is an old person and he doesn't want to get into any new ventures, family business, also sometimes, situation takes place. The industry is if the industry is experiencing a slow or no growth condition, just like probably what's going on because of the COVID all over the world. Lots of companies choose this type of strategy, stability strategy. If the owners of the firm elect not to grow for personal reason, I just explained that. Sometimes the family business, if the family person sick or old, sometimes they choose not to make any growth while he is in that situation. Renewal strategy, okay, developing strategies to counter organizational weakness that are leading to performance decline. We have retrenchment, focusing of eliminating non-critical weakness, and restoring strength to overcome current performance problem. And we have turnaround, adding critical long-term performance problem through the use of strong cost elimination measures and large-scale organizational restructuring. Okay. Before I go into that, I would like to share with you also part of business level growth. Ouch. Business level growth. We have, okay, good. We have what we call business penetration, and we have business development, okay, and we have product sometimes call it market penetration, sometimes they call it market development. Business penetration like شماغ البسام. Okay. Okay. Business level of growth, we have what we call it business penetration or market penetration, just like this شماغ. We have number 1, number 2, 4, 5, 6 different models from the same but different design. We have business development, like you take an existing business and you get it into the new market, like the small Pizza Hut. They serve it in the restaurants, but sometimes they serve it. You can take it. At JFK Airport out Chicago, you will have very small ones, less than the smaller one, that you can take it with you inside the airplane. This is getting into a new market. Product development, almost all of the new product are all it's a product development type. How corporate strategy is managed? Managers manage portfolio or a collection of business using a corporate portfolio matrix such as the BCG matrix. BCG is Boston, developed by Boston Consulting Group, that's why they call it BCG, considers market share and industry growth rate. They look into the rates of growth and classifies firm as cash cows, which is low growth, high market share, stars, high growth rate, high market share, question marks, high growth rate and low market share, and dogs, low growth rate and low market share. And I'm going to give you some example. This is the BCG matrix. Depending on the market share, high or low, and depending on the anticipated growth, low to high. Accordingly, we have, if it is high market share and high growth rate, we call them stars. Example, Lexus cars, Apple product, Nike shoes are all stars. If it is low market share and high growth rate, this is called question mark. Question mark, usually electronics, because the growth is high, but the market share sometimes is low. Here's also the jewelries, stars, and the gold is all in the star. Okay, cash cows is low growth rate, market share is high. This is in general like the real estate, all under this. Low market share, low growth rate, they call them dogs, and this is such as the contractor services that they provide you with is called dogs. Therefore, this is the BCG matrix, very important. BCG matrix, and consists of 4 with the stars, question mark, cash cows, and dogs. This is high, low, and this is low. High, low, high, low. Depending on 2 things. Market share and growth rate. competitive strategy. Competitive strategy is focused on how an organization will compete in its business or businesses. For an organization in only one line of business, the competitive strategy describes how it will compete in its primary or main market. Like if you have a factory just for paints, Humble or Sigma, or just factory paints, okay, one line of business. For organization in multiple business, however, each business has its own competitive strategy that defines its competitive advantage, the products or services it will offer, the customer it wants to reach, and the link. When an organization in several different businesses, those single businesses that are independent are formulate their own competitive strategies for, and often called strategic business unit. SBUs are very important. These are special SBU, strategic business units. If you have more than one business, you formulate for each one special strategic business unit. The role of competitive advantage. Competitive advantage sets an organization distinctive competitive advantage. What is it that you have that others don't have? That distinctive edge comes from the organization core competencies. What is it? My core competencies. Okay, because the organization does something that cannot do or does it better than others can do. Maybe you are specialized in one area, aluminum fabrication, and you are good in that. Don't concentrate on what you are good in. Because this will give you a competitive advantage. Okay. Now, differentiate quality as competitive advantage. Quality is very, very important. Therefore, you always have to just put it as one of your competitive advantage. Differentiate the firm from its competitor. The quality differentiate you from others if you have high quality work. Can create sustainable competitive advantage. If you are well known in the market that you provide good quality, this is going to be sustainable for you in the long run. Represents the company's focus on quality management, achieve continuous improvement, and meet customers' demand for quality. You remember? Strategic business unit. Okay, you remember quality is Deming cycle. You go with a plan, do, check, act, plan, do, check, act, plan, do, check, act. With what? Key is continuous improvement. Continuous improvement until you have the perfect machine or perfect service. Those cars Mercedes, Lexus, BMW are almost perfect machine because they introduce deeming cycle, quality, 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 until with a continuous improvement until you become perfect. This is the quality should be a competitive advantage for you. Sustaining competitive advantage, continuing over time to effectively exploit resources and develop core competitiveness or competencies that enable an organization to keep its edge over its industry competitors. It's not easy to create a sustainable competitive advantage due to market instability because the market always changing, new technologies has been always introduced, and other changes. By using strategic management, managers can better position their organization to get a sustainable competitive advantage. حلو. There are 5 forces model that affect your strategic or your strategies. What are these 5 models? This is the 5 force models. Threat of a new entrant, of new entrants. If the ease or difficulty with which a new competitor can enter into the industry. No matter how new product you have, eventually that you will have a competitor. Okay, but there is always a threat of this new competitor because he will take part of your share market or market share. Threat of substitute, the extent to which switching cost and the brand loyalty affect the likelihood of customer adopting substitute products and service. There is always, especially in states, with the medicine, there is a brand medicine and there is generic medicine, and this generic usually it's a substitute. That also makes a threat for those brand ones. Okay, bargaining power of buyers, the degree to which buyers have the market strength to hold, weighs over and influences competitors in an industry. And there is bargaining power for supplier as well, which is the relative number of buyers to supply and threat from substitutes and the new entrants affect the buyer-supplier relationship. Current rivalry intensity among rivals increase when industry growth rate slow down. Demand falls and the product price descends, just like what happened these days because of the COVID. Lots of things went into a slowdown mood. Therefore, these are the 5 model forces, which is the threat of new entrants, bargaining power of buyers, threat of the substitute, and bargaining power of the supplier. This is the new entrant, this is the substitute, and this is buyer, and this is supplier, and this is the model for the 5 force model. The intensity of rivalry among current competitors will force where these will go. It's very important. Okay. This is entrant, this is buyer, and this is supplier, and this is substitute. And this is the rivalry intensity. Again, new entrants, substitute, buyer, supplier. What are the 5 forces? Threat of new entrants, bargaining power of buyers, threat of substitute, and bargaining power of the supplier. And the intensity of rivalry among current competitors. Choosing a competitive strategy, cost leadership strategy, seeking to attain the lowest total overall cost relative to other industry competitors. We have also differentiating strategy, and we have focus strategy. Cost leadership strategy, seeking to attain the lowest total overall cost relative to other industry competitors. Differentiating strategy, we have attempting to create a unique and distinctive product or services for which customer will pay premium. Focus strategy, using cost or differentiation advantage to exploit a particular market segment rather than a larger market. And we have stuck in the middle, when an organization cannot develop a cost or differentiation advantage. And then we have functional strategy, used an organization, various function departments to support the competitive strategy. Okay. Maybe we have time, probably, because this is very important also, to sketch. To sketch these we have, depending on the advantage and depends on the depending on the strategic target. Accordingly, we have differentiation strategy, and we have cost leadership strategy, and we have focus strategy. And stuck in the middle. Okay, differentiation strategy is like Lexus and Apple computer. Cost leadership like Lulu supermarket Focus strategy is like Rolex watches and Polo brand. Therefore, these are صدق الحق الله أكبر. These are, as we said, differentiating strategy, cost leadership, stack in the middle, and focus strategy. Example of differentiation like the Lexus and Apple computers, and cost leadership like Lulu Supermarket, and focus strategy like Rolex. They don't want anybody to wear Rolex watch. Polo, okay, only the people who can afford it. And stuck in the middle, and these other that we just and the functional strategy depending on functionality of the products. Okay, I also I would like to put again, because this is also important. I put these because they are important. Supplier. New entrant and substitute. Okay. Therefore, almost our the need of strategic flexibility, or the need for strategic flexibility, involves the ability to recognize major external changes, to quickly commit resources, to recognize when strategic decision is not working. Strategic flexibility: know what happened with strategies current being used by monitoring and measuring results. Encourage employee to be open about disclosing and sharing negative information. Get new ideas and perspectives for outside the organization. Have multiple alternatives when making strategies decisions, and learn from your mistakes. New directions in organizational strategy. We have what we call e-business strategies, because now lots of businesses become electronic. Okay, in e-business strategies, cost leader, online activities, bidding, order processing, inventory control and requirement, and hiring. And most of the government now going electronically, and most of the big companies going electronically, universities, learning, all. Differentiator: internet-based knowledge system, online ordering and customer support. Focuser: chat room and discussion boards, target websites, click and break. Use both online, which is a click, and traditional standalone locations, bricks. New directions again in the organization strategy. Customer service strategies, okay? Giving the customer what they want, communicate effectively with them, provide employee with customer services training. Innovation strategies: radical breakthrough in products. You always have to think of always innovations. Application of existing technologies to new uses, strategies, decisions about innovation. We have basic research, product development, or process improvement. An organization that is first to bring product innovation to make or use a new process innovation is known as first mover. What are the advantages and disadvantages for first movers? First movers' advantages: reputation for being innovative and industry leaders, cost and learning benefits, control over scarce resource and keeping competitors for having access to them, opportunities to building customer relationship and customer loyalty, disadvantages: uncertainty over exact direction technology and market will go, risk of competitors imitating innovations, financial and strategic risk, high development and cost. By this, we conclude our class for today that took us almost 1 hour. I would like to share with you my board and just to go over it as usual so that you can capture it. This is the whole thing. Okay, you can capture it, and then we can go one by one. This is a person. We have short-term, mid-term, long-term plans, and trying to look into the future. This is the person. And we have the present, past, and the future, and we have a vision, and we have a mission. How are we going to do it? The goal has to be quantitatively and qualitatively. And we did discuss the planning, that it's mainly resource allocation, and we talk about planning. We have short-term, mid-term, long-term, and we have contingency plan in case your original plan doesn't work. And we have the planning at division level, departmental level, and the sectional level, and even at personal level. And we have mission, goals, vision, and planning takes place at top, middle, and lower management. Then we define the simple, in a very simple way, vision, what you want to be in the future, your mission, how are you going to do it, and your goals, what you want to accomplish quantitatively and qualitatively. And we talked about some growth strategies, which is downward, which is forward integration, and forward going into the business for your customer, and backward integration going into the business for your supplier, and horizontal integration, which is going into the business of your competitor or joining your competitor business. And we talk about the business level growth. We have market penetration, like Bassam Shmagh has Basma 1, Basma 2, Basma 3. We have business development. If the Pizza Hut being served in the airplane, or a special type of pizza, you can buy it from the airport, you can get it into the plane. And we have product development, most of the new product. Then we talked about rivalry among competitors. We have supplier and buyers and new entrants and substitute of new product. We talked about Boston matrix, okay, depending on the market share, depending on the growth rate. Accordingly, we have these 4 type of, you have these 4 type, which is the stars, question mark, and cash cows, and dogs, okay? And we gave example of them. Last but not least, we talked about, depending on the advantages and strategic target, we could have differentiation, or like, Lexus or Apple computer, cost leadership like Lulu Supermarket, and focus strategy like Rolex and column. And we talk also the importance of SBU, strategic business units, and strategic business unit, and we talk about deeming cycle, quality, plan, do, check, act, plan, do, check, act, until with the continuous improvement until you have what we call is perfect machine. Thank you very much. Do you have a good day, good evening, or good afternoon?